Hi, I'm Nicole, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be yet another update video. I recently came into some very interesting, I guess, developments, if you want to call it, when it comes to the crazy stalker that I have, Lulu. I just discovered some stuff that she posted on her YouTube account very recently. Let's just say, when I say recently, I say today, as I'm making this video right now. Normally, and I have stated this in the past, that, you know, if I ever saw anything where I knew that I needed to bring it up, you know, make a video or a community post about it, I would. This stuff was just too good to not bring it up and talk about it. There's a lot of lies that, you know, is in this stuff, and I've pretty much caught this Lulu in some shenanigans again. And this is just something that I just could not pass up, because again, it's basically the whole gist of this entire thing, from what I can gather, it's proving that she is watching my videos constantly. She is monitoring everything that I do on this channel, and she did this before back then, the other times that I attempted my channel. And basically, whenever I do any kind of video or post where I am bringing up, you know, her and exposing her and talking about all the crap that she did to me, you know, what she's done to others, the lies that she's done and said, anytime I bring up, you know, through a video or post or whatever, she gets a hissy fit or temper tantrum, and then she starts trying to make community posts on her YouTube account where she's trying to somehow do damage control. She's trying to, you know, pass off, you know, the story that she's got going. Remember, I told you she's been concocting this story for a while, and she's been going with it. She's trying to spin, you know, the story, and she keeps trying to profuse her innocence to anybody that will listen. But then also continues to badmouth me, tries to make me out to be, you know, the instigator, and, you know, pretty much everything of what I have explained in my videos, you know. And as usual, these posts that she has recently made, it exposed more. And so I'm here to expose it, basically. I'm having to make yet another video because this stuff was just too good to pass up, that I just said, no, I need to comment on this, because, again, this is just another example of what kind of crap this person pulls. You know, what they do. And, again, there's a lot of lies that are being exposed, and, I mean, it's some of it, I mean, I actually, some of this is getting hilarious. And, I know some of y'all are probably thinking, yeah, I need to move on, but, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, this is a person that literally started out in the beginning, had some kind of vendetta, and had this campaign against me. This is how this whole thing started. If you remember, you just have to go back to those videos. I'm just trying to make the short, you know, story of it. Any post that I made in the beginning about my connection to Michael, if she saw it, she'd start harassing me and trying to call me out to be a liar, saying threatening things to me and all this other stuff, you know, trying to make me out to be a crazy person. And then she would start claiming in these posts that she had a connection to Michael. You know, Michael would tell her that I was lying and making stuff up and all this other crap, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Then I come to find out the first medium that I go to, it's confirmed my connection to Michael, and then Michael, you know, pretty much spilled the beans. Remember how I've been saying that he doesn't know this Lulu at all? He knows what she's been doing to me, but, you know, that's pretty much it. There is no connection. You know? So now then she continued and continued with that kind of harassment. And then I started finding out as the years went by, she kind of started posting, here and there on YouTube and elsewhere on the internet. I started to find out that she was twisting and turning everything around and was now trying to claim that she had this connection to Michael and it was oh so wonderful and romantic and all this other crap. And then she's starting to mention some of these experiences, and it turns out she stole from my account. She's lifting from my stuff, from my experiences, and is trying to pass it off on her own. Okay, so you got that going on. That's serious. Then she's also trying to spin it into that she has been harassed by a person all this time, that they're jealous of her connection to Michael, and she's trying to claim that it's me. Okay? So again, remember how I've stated this ad nauseum. She has been the one that was harassing me, but then she's basically turning it around into that I'm the one harassing her. And then on top of that, she's stealing from my account and is trying to pass my experiences off as her own. That's how sick and demented this person is. That's the gist of it. Okay? And of course, with good reason, there's a reason why I started to bring all this up on the, this channel, just like I did on the past versions of this channel. And it's basically what this is all turning into is that, what I'm fixing to go into, I'm exposing her for the lies again, the newest stuff that she's trying to say. Although some of it is the same crap. Some of this is nothing new. She's said some of this stuff before in the past. But this is almost getting to be like a documentation because, I've already archived this latest, set of crazy posts. But it is documentation. If you remember in one of my very recent videos, I have talked to some people about this stuff. They told me to archive. And there was very good reason because they did view some of the stuff that this person had said when, in these posts. They viewed it as, they were interested. They said some of it was kind of dangerous. And they told me that I was doing the right thing by not giving away my face and all this other stuff and not giving away details about, my actual name, location, all of that. Because this person was coming off as a crazy, this is dangerous, basically. This is starting to head into dangerous territory. And that this person is up to no good, whoever this so-called Lulu is. Okay, so some of this stuff that I'm doing now, like this particular video, this is documentation that I'm actually doing, to kind of show, because if I have to go back in the future, when I say going back, I'm talking about like in the future, if I have to go back and, talk to these people, that I have talked to before and explain that this stuff is continuing, this is more documentation, basically. I mean, at the end of the day, what it looks like on the surface is that this person, this Lulu, whoever it is on that account, whether it is a woman or a man, they won't leave well enough alone, and that they're basically proving by these posts that they're constantly watching the videos. They are understanding that I am calling them out. And when I say them, you got to remember how I told you how I was told there's a group involved. It ain't just her or whoever this Lulu is. There's people involved. There's more than one person. They know they're being exposed. That's what those videos, these posts are exposing that. They know that they are being exposed, and on the surface, it looks like somebody who's obviously just trying to do damage control and make themselves out to be innocent, and as usual, trying to make me out to be crazy, but deep down, you can tell they're scared because they've been exposed, because it's just so obvious. And like I said, the lengths that this person, will it's the lengths that they go to in carrying this weird game. It's just, it really is sick. And like I said, it has to be documented, you know? So that is one of the reasons why I have to continue doing this whenever I come across this stuff. And so, but anyway, this is basically what ended up happening today, what I just discovered. All of this was new. And of course, we don't know either if this Lulu's going to keep this up, because she's going to listen to this video. Remember, I told you, she monitors everything I do and basically makes some kind of post about it, you know, because she has such a problem. And we know why she has such a problem with me. I just went over to her earlier. She has been exposed, you know, and I continue to expose her too. And she gets in a tizzy and does all this crap. The thing is that these posts today, I'm fixing to go over because, like I said, there's stuff in it that pretty much it just shows that she was watching my videos, and then she thinks she can, you know, try to do this damage control, and in the process, she's just making up even more lies that they're not adding up. The stories are not adding up. And I'm going to go into it right now. So first of all, she basically, she starts calling out, a particular post that I did on one, you know, account that it's a, you know, fan account about, you know, Michael. And she's trying to make posts alluding to that. And what it is that, the post itself, it was me and another viewer, somebody that has actually been to my channel, this recent, you know, version of the channel, and we've been, you know, posting back and forth. You know, they make comments. They're obviously aware of this Lulu and what, you know, this Lulu's been doing. You know, she'll make comments here and there, you know, and this person will post on it, you know, about that, you know. Well, anyways, Lulu had such a problem about this particular conversation, because this one conversation that me and this one, you know, viewer is talking about, I'm exposing how she keeps accusing me of being this Brazilian person by the name of Andrea and won't let that go. So she brings that up, and it's very strange, because it's like she's talking about that, and yet the posts are incriminating her. So it doesn't make any sense to begin with that she's posting that on her channel as, and in some way she thinks she's bad-mouthing me. When the thing is, the post itself, I'm exposing her. Me and the other viewer are getting into a conversation about what she does to me, what she's been doing, this weird game of trying to call me out to be, you know, some Brazilian named Andrea. And then you see where I'm getting at, and it's stupidity. It makes no sense. Okay? Just go with me on this, because a lot of this, it probably is confusing, okay? But that's why I'm making this video, and, you know. So anyways, under these series of posts that she's doing that, she all of a sudden has somebody that is attempting to conversate with her, a so-called, you know, person that has found her, you know, account or whatever, and wants to comment. And this person is basically trying to start some mess. This account is the user's name is Seraphim or Sarah, I guess that's how you pronounce, I don't know. This Seraphim is trying to badmouth the viewer that I was conversing with, you know, and this Seraphim is somehow trying to badmouth this particular viewer. And then it goes into the territory of where this Seraphim and Lulu start conversing on, you know, on Lulu's channel, right? Under these posts. And the stuff is great. I mean, because again, this is why I'm exposing this. This Seraphim attempts to call out the viewer that was, you know, that I'm, you know, talking to. He, whatever. I just say she at the moment because it's just natural. But she or he, whoever the Seraphim is trying to accuse that viewer of being me. Okay? This is a trick that Lulu has done from the get-go, and I explained this in the past videos, in the bully videos. This is something that's nothing new. Anytime anybody ever commented on any of my videos, whether it be recent, because this is happening again now, but in the past, when I had my videos up back then, or even back before I even started the channel, when I was simply posting, and, Lulu would start her crap, and somebody would see it, they would actually come to my defense and whatnot. Anytime that anybody ever responded to me in any kind of post I made, or if anybody ever responded to any videos that I made where they're just simply saying, this is a good video or whatever, or we get in the conversation, Lulu always tried to make the claim that all of these are fake accounts by me, that I'm faking all of it. That's the kind of the crazy lengths that this person is going to discredit me. That, like I said, this is like some big discredit campaign. That's what it's been from the exact beginning, the get-go. Okay? And obviously that's ludicrous. Okay? So anybody that ever showed any interest in my channel, or if they ever showed any interest in the post, if they tried to converse, she tries to claim that I am basically posting to myself that these are all fake accounts. My husband actually had the best response. He said this person has an answer for everything. And he was telling me, you need to just, ignore it. This is somebody that really is crazy, and they have an answer for everything. They're just continuing their mess. And this is just one example, okay? So now then, because like I said, this is probably all confusing, but this so-called Seraphim account that is posting now on Lulu's account, they're going into conversation. This so-called Seraphim is trying to do basically what Lulu always did. In other words, they're just simply trying to bring up one of the users, on the user accounts or viewer accounts, wherever you want to call it, a YouTuber, someone that has been conversing, that has made posts on my channel recently, and we've had conversations. This Seraphim is trying to call out that particular viewer, whatever, and is trying to accuse me of being that person. Okay? That's how crazy it's getting. Now then, here's the catch on it. This so-called Seraphim is very hypocritical. You want to know why? I click on this person's account. This Seraphim's account literally just got created today. Because, if you're on YouTube, if you know how to use it, you can find out the stuff with no problem. So this Seraphim account literally was created today. It said it August the 10th, 2026. And when I looked at the comments that this person was making to Lulu's comments, it was literally like 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago or, 50 minutes ago or whatever. So, just get that, okay? And make that make sense. This Seraphim has a problem with one of my viewers that I've been talking with. They've commented on my videos. We've gotten into conversation. And this Seraphim is trying to call that particular viewer out and is trying to accuse them of being me under a fake account. And then yet this Seraphim account literally just got created today. Now, make that make sense. And you know, on if anybody's listening to this, you can tell that this is common sense. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to know for sure. I'm not going to know whether or not if this Seraphim is connected to Lulu or whatever, but it's not smart to be going around trying to accuse somebody of being a fake account and blah, 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 and yet you just literally just posted your account. I mean, it really does look on the surface like this particular person started up an account just to go to Lulu's account and then post all this mess. I mean, and you see, and it's pretty obvious at this point. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to know for sure, obviously, but on the surface, it's not looking good for this Seraphim person. So it's either, because I have to bring this up, remember how I told you that, I found out there's a group involved? Again, it just does not look good at this point for Lulu and her little cohorts. Because it's obviously let's just say there's a 9% chance that it's so obvious that this is obviously a buddy of hers that they're trying to do damage control and they're trying to start this mess, and they're trying to start mess with simply a viewer that was watching my videos and making comments. And you see where I'm getting at? And, like as I said earlier, this is nothing new. Lulu did this stuff in the past. This is going to be somebody that just exposed themselves as part of the group, or this is simply Lulu starting another fake account and then talking to herself, and you kind of get where I'm going with this. I mean, and see, this is that shit it's actually hilarious. I mean, at least make yourself sound or look convincing when you're trying to lie and make stuff up. And see, this person apparently, didn't think about all this, because it's pretty simple that, when you click on any, like if you're clicking on somebody's account, it's going to show when the account was started. So, I mean, do you see where I'm getting at? And see, this is what I meant when I said this was too good. I couldn't just let this slide by. And of course, I archived and documented it and everything because, I kind of have to. But, another thing that was weird too is that this Seraphim posted in English. And you remember how I told you how Lulu always likes to present themselves as French and they post in French. And the thing is, they could be French and they may not be either. We'll see. What's so funny is that, I have caught Lulu. I don't know if I've even brought this up. I have caught Lulu posting in English before, even though it was very rare. But that has happened. And again, it's like, why is this person continuously posting in French? But yet there's been 1 or 2 times when I caught them posting in English. And again, that just adds to the whole thing of what I've been trying to stress, is that when I say that I don't know who this Lulu truly is, the gist of it is that they love to make themselves out to be some woman that lives in France and they're always posting in France, but it could be a man for all we know posting. And it could be in some other country that they're not even in France. And I remember that the avatar, the little round circle that everybody has on their account, that when they have a little picture or whatever, there was a woman that was continuously being posted. There was various different pictures, but it's the same woman. And it's like, you don't even know if that's even so-called Lulu. Of course, I found it funny that ever since I made my recent video, she all of a sudden changed her picture. And, I mean, it's just, the thing is that is what I have been stressing, is that there is no telling who is behind this account and what is their deal. Because this is the links that this person continues to go through in trying to somehow discredit me. And it's one thing if it was just somebody that was jealous and crazy and they are trying to discredit me, you ignore it and go on. But no, when this person continued to do this on practically any post I made about Michael, and then I find out later on they stole from my videos, so that gets serious. That's not, that's when it gets beyond that. when they're actually, you know, trying to copy from my account, pass it off as their own, you know. So anyway, so yeah, so that's going to be the first thing that I discovered, okay? She also brought up another post. She actually made another post. I'm talking about Lulu. She made another post on her account, you know, today as well. She's trying to claim that she has talked to somebody recently and she brings up the name Linda. And she's going on about how this person, and I can't really, she's kind of, you know, I couldn't really tell if she was trying to claim that this person was a psychic or medium, but it was something about that this so-called Linda apparently was interested in her connection with Michael and wanted to talk with her about it, and that this Linda supposedly has had her own experiences with Michael and spirit and that kind of thing. And again, there was just all kinds of stuff that just exposed the lie. Because number one, I already could tell that she apparently, I think the entire post, she was attempting to do a copying attempt again, where she is copying from what I've gone through and is trying to lift and spin it around. And then, you know, try to make things into her own. Because what have I told you when it came to the mediums? What I just said happened in the video I made about the mediums. There are 2 mediums that contacted me because they saw my videos and they wanted to talk with me because they had their own experiences with Michael. And then we conversed through email. First it was, you know, posting on the, you know, videos themselves. And then, of course, you know, they started, you know, we ended up doing it through email to make it more private. Anyways, the thing is, what does that sound like? So, you see where I'm getting at? That's another way that this person likes to lift and copy from my videos and then tries to turn and twist things around into her own, you know, she spins her own yarn, so to speak, about this. Okay, so she tries to claim that this Linda has had her own experiences. And she tries to claim that this Linda supposedly has a birth date of January 22nd. And how she thought it was neat and whatnot. And again, do you see the weirdness there? Because again, if you're a Michael fan, you're going to know what the January 22nd connection is. And you see the bullshit. Okay? You see how it's so ludicrous at this point. Another thing she also tried to allude to, she tried to bring up, you know, how she told Linda about how, you know, her first experiences started back in 2008. And she's trying to make a connection to the number 11. And again, remember what I told you about the number 11, how that plays a part in the whole twin flame, the 1111. That plays a part in the spiritual awakenings, the whole twin flame phenomenon and whatnot. And, you know, I've had that, obviously. And, you know, I mean, like I said, you have to just go back to my videos to know about that. But she's trying to make a connection now to the number 11 through that. She's trying to claim that she had her first experiences back in 2008. And that is exactly 11 years before, you know, or 11 years after 1997. Of course, 97 being the year that Michael died. And then, you know, you get where I'm going with. You know, she's trying to somehow make a connection there. And she's just merely bringing this up. Well, see, that right there, I've already, you know, I had already uncovered this. And I've started to wonder about this. But, this is the weird thing about this Lulu. This is basically classic of what this person does. She's been going on with this story. She's stuck with it for a while now, probably at least I would say a year or two. She's trying to claim that her experiences with her, you know, with this, you know, this so-called connection that she has with Michael, which is bullshit, you know. She is trying to claim that it happened in 2008, that's when it all started. And she's stuck with this for a while now. Well, I can already explain the bullshit in that. Because, first of all, you have to look at this. When did I say that my experiences first started? It started with seeing repeat numbers for like 3 years. And it wasn't until 2021 that I started having the dreams and all the other stuff. I started having numbers in 2018. Think about 2008 and 2018. Okay? Now then, I happen to know for a fact that she, again, this is another one of the lies that I'm fixing to expose where she can't keep her story straight. Remember how I told you in the beginning of all this back in 2022 when she first started harassing me? Remember how I told you how she was trying to act friendly and all that at first, and then she went crazy after maybe about a month or so and started the harassment? That first year or so, she kept trying to claim, that her experiences started in 2018 as well. Okay? And she always, she kept using that year. And she was doing this back in the beginning. But at some point over the years, it's changed to 2008. So she can't keep her story. This is going to be yet another where she cannot keep her story straight. Okay? And she was insistent on it being in 2018. And again, this will be yet another copying. Because you got to remember, that's what she did in the beginning. She acted all friendly to me at first on the YouTube post and was trying to be inquisitive. And I found out later on she's fishing for information. And then you see where it went from this. Because like I said, you have to just go back to the video I did about. It's called the bully video, basically. And it will explain all that. Okay? So hear this. She keeps harping on the year 2008 now, but she can't keep her story straight because back then she harped on it being 2018, which obviously is another copying attempt. But another weird thing that is kind of creepy about it, remember the video that I did about another person that was going around apparently years ago? There's another blogger that was going around that was trying to claim that they were Michael's twin flame. That particular blogger stated that their experiences started in 2007 and then went on all those years, until they passed away. 2007 being exactly 10 years after, Michael died, 1997. I have always found it weird. I always looked at it that Lulu, because she's brought up this blogger and post herself. And a lot of the times, and then see, that's another lie that also I'm going to bring up too in a little bit. But she's brought up this blogger before. And so that means she knows. She's obviously, you could tell by some of these past posts that she has done that I've, seen. She obviously has, listened to this person's account and knows of them. Well, think about this. Think of this. This blogger stated the year 2007 is when their experiences started. Mine started in 2018. And you see the whole thing now where Lulu seems to have found the middle ground and claims 2008. It's a little too close to 2007. And then it's also like 10 years for 2018. And you see where I'm going. I mean, it's probably going to be very confusing. But basically what I'm trying to expose and show is that I think this is actually another one of those attempts where she's literally trying to find the middle ground and basically claim, just make it up that she started having her experiences here. And she's kind of lifting from both accounts, from my experience and from that blogger from back then, their so-called experience. Okay? You see where I'm going with this? And then this is the thing too. This is another lie this person, this Lulu that I've caught them in. When it comes to that other blogger from way back in the day, there have been times where she has bad-mouthed that person as well and has tried to, claim that they were a liar and all that. And you got to remember doing the same thing, trying to claim that, I know for a fact that this person is lying. You go, because Michael told me, because, there was all kinds of posts like that where she would be bad-mouthing that blogger. But yet, in recent times, she seems to like doing this thing where she now tries to come to the defense of this blogger and is trying to be, like, in defense, and it's a way to make me look bad since I've called out that blogger for the bullshit that they posted. Since I found out the truth on that. Because, I did a video about that, And so, you see, this is what this Lulu likes to do. This is, like, very immature hijinks. This is kind of remind me of like, Mean Girls in the high school. There's a reason why, I had said in one of my past videos that this person, they come off as somebody either like in high school or in their early 20s, and they really are. They're mentally ill. They probably don't live on their own. They probably have some kind of caregiver that has to watch over them, and then their caregiver, parent, whoever has no clue as to what they do online and probably needs to be monitoring their, activity. Because that's what a lot of this comes off as. I mean, because I had said this before. I had said this back then that the pictures that this person continues to post on their account, and it was the same woman, and obviously the whole intent is to make you think that that's her. Remember how I said that, the person in them pictures looked like they were in their 50s or 60s. And if this person is doing, if that is who this Lulu is, and that is what this person does in their free time, I mean, for a grown woman to be doing this kind of immature shit, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, it is sad. And I've said that before in past videos. I'll just say it again. Because like I said, this is what I meant when I said you really don't know, who is behind this account. But they're not mature at all. They love to try to make themselves out to be when they're trying to call me out and make me out to be, the immature one or whatever. And, and this thing, I don't do this crap. This person continues in the post. From what I noticed, they keep trying to insinuate that I keep harassing them. I don't do anything with this person. I don't converse. I don't post. I don't do anything. The only thing I do is I'm just running my channel and making my videos. And whenever I find out that she does this crap and it involves me, I expose it. Because I'm documenting it. Like I stated earlier, I have to kind of document and archive this crap. Because this person stole from my videos. They were going around online trying to pass off my stuff as their own. And like I said, you can look at it either from a legal point or if I have to get the authorities involved. Either way, you see where I'm getting at. But I mean but that's what's bad about this, that these hijinks remind me of like a group of, high school girls, like a clique. And this is what they do. Over their obsession over Michael Hutchins. Who has been, I don't like saying this, but I am going to just say it. Michael understand. He knows where I'm coming from. This is somebody who's been dead. I don't even know how many. It's definitely over 20. In fact, I'm starting to realize now, because I'm thinking about the year 2026. Next year, it is going to be 30 years that he has passed. And I'm just now real, because I mean, time flies. But I mean, that is how sick and demented this person is. They've got some kind of weird beef with me that they will not, I mean, so anyways, the thing is that I'm just trying to bring that out. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent because I tend to do that. To get back to the other blogger, what I was basically going with that is that I personally, I'm just going to say right now, like I said, this, Lulu has definitely brought up this blogger in past posts and have badmouthed them, and then now is somehow trying to defend them. And of course, we know what that's about. It's about trying to make me look bad just because I made that video and called, you know, them out. Basically, what I have kind of wondered, it would not surprise me, knowing how there have been others that have said that this Lulu, you know, did things to them online. It's gotten around in, you know, social media groups and whatnot. It would not surprise me if this blogger back in the day when they had their blog and whatnot, and they're going over, you know, the so-called, you know, twin flame connection that they had to Michael, it would not surprise me if this Lulu found that person's blog back then and was harassing and doing this crap to them. I don't know, but I'm just simply wondering. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if this Lulu was harassing this blogger back then. It really wouldn't. It would not surprise me one bit. Okay? And again, this is why I'm exposing all this, because, I mean, you know, they won't leave well enough alone. I'm just exposing the lies, you know. Another thing that was in, because to go back to this Sarah Film account that is, you know, posting on Lulu's account, and they're starting to get in the conversation. They're trying, basically the gist of the comments so far that were posted today, they're trying to call me out. They're trying to call out one of the viewers, and they're trying to claim that it's me under a fake account. And, you know, again, I've already gone over that because this is nothing new. This Lulu did this in the past. Well, Lulu continues to bring up this Andrea character. I'm not going to go into it other than you already know, if you've seen the videos, she has to bring that up. And that just upends it all, because here we go again. She's now trying to, you know, tell this Sarah Film character that I am this Brazilian named Andrea and all this other crap. And again, I mean, that's just ludicrous. She even made I think she made some kind of reference to my accent. I think she was trying to somehow claim that I'm faking my accent. Honey, you can't fake this. I mean, I know that I have a thick southern drawl, and you can't fake this shit. And see, remember what I just told you earlier, what my husband pretty much spelled out? He said, this person seems to have an answer for everything. And that's basically what this is all starting to allude to. It's like anything and everything that I have stated, you know, whether it be in a post, or if, you know, if I make my videos or whatnot, this person is monitoring, and I've said this, and these posts today proved it. She or he or whoever it is, okay, on this Lulu account is monitoring everything that I do and say when it comes to this channel. Or if I post, if I happen to post, you know, some type of message about my, you know, it's a video that somebody made about my ankle, you know, I'm just simply, you know, making a, you know, nice comment about it. This person is monitoring everything I do. Okay? And then they go and they have these little hissy fits and temper tantrums. They start pulling this kind of crap. Okay? And the post exposes it. And basically, you know, what has basically been shown is that the posts are always trying to claim that I'm lying about everything, that I'm just making everything up. Everything is lying, you know, is a lie. I just made everything up. And that's when you start to know that the other person is the one that's bullshitting. Because when they're doing those kinds of claims, and here it is, I don't know this person, and they definitely don't know me. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. Okay? But yeah, she continues to harp on that. Let's see. Okay, there was something that I am going to bring up that I didn't bring this up. this was something that the mediums have helped me out with, the ones I've conversed with that have helped me out. This is some more of the stuff that Michael exposed to them. You know, remember how I told you how Michael was very aware of what this person has been doing? And I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to, since this person won't leave things alone and continues to try to do all the stuff. Remember how I talked about the bad practices, I like to call it, this person likes to get themselves involved in? Something that Michael did explain to the mediums, and of course they explained it to me. This Lulu apparently has tried to use bad practices in trying to conjure up his spirit, supposedly. And this is something that you don't do. It's something that you technically you can attempt to do it, and it's not going to be achieved. And of course, you know, spirits in heaven are protected from this stuff. It's just not allowed. Okay? And that was the way it was explained to me. Some of this, I don't even know if I'm even saying it right, because I don't know about the stuff. But the thing is, this Lulu is that obsessed, you know, with him. And you gotta remember, this is somebody that truly believes that they are in a love connection with Michael. I have actually seen her call Michael. I've seen the post. She referred to Michael as her husband. Okay? You know? And the thing is, Michael says that this Lulu has tried to do things. They've gone to all manner of lengths in trying to somehow contact him from beyond. There's also something too, and of course that, you know, Michael says that you know, it never happens because, you know, Michael obviously, as I said, you know, when you're in the afterlife, you know, especially in heaven, you're protected from that stuff, so it never reaches them, you know. But at the same time, this person has also done anything and everything, you know, to try to conjure. And there was something about how some of these practices, it has led to this idiot. There has been things that have happened where I think the way that they were trying to explain to me, that she has conjured up some kind of bad spirit that will come around and, you know, do things. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And if I understand it correctly, something that I was told, and this is also something that you can come across and research from people that are mediums and psychics, people that know about the spiritual stuff. They say that you can be conjuring up. If you're interested in trying, you better know what you're doing, because that is where a real medium and psychic, they don't conjure up. They let a spirit come to them. The people that go around conjuring up spirits, if they're trying to, you know, go after, you know, trying to find somebody to talk to from beyond, that's where the negative, the demonic people or spirits, where you want to call it, they are basically the ones that you're talking to at that point. You conjured up something demonic, and they will lie and tell you anything you want to hear. So then if you don't know what you're doing, basically you're going to think that you're conversing with whoever it is you were trying to contact, and you ain't. And there was some alluding to that this person in the conjuring of trying to get, you know, Michael to somehow come through, it ends up being something else that's negative and demonic, and then they're just telling them everything they want, you know. And you see where I'm getting at? And there was alluding to that she has been involved in that kind of stuff. And so apparently she could be having some kind of spirit coming around her, and she thinks it's Michael, and it's not. You know? And, I mean, there have been some posts that she made to me in the past, some of the threatening posts, where she did kind of talk. I'm not going to repeat what it was. I've got it archived, but it kind of alluded, I felt like it was exposing that, yeah, she likes to participate in that kind of stuff, because it was the way the post were worded. I'm not going to repeat it, but it was just weird. And see, I'm not part of that world. All this stuff that I have had happen to me, it came to me. You know, because I'm not part of that kind of stuff, you know, and you gotta remember, I'm not even like a spiritual, New Age or where you want to call it, because I'm not a medium. I'm just merely posting about what all I have gone through. I was just living my life, and then one day these numbers start happening, and it kept on. And then eventually it turns into all the other stuff, and I'm like, what the hell? What is this? You know? But the thing is that that's what Michael, and so that was something that Michael also stressed. There have been people, I have noticed, there will be fans that talk about how they tried to claim that they had contacted Michael in spirit and that he conversed with them, and they give themselves away. They talk about how they used pendulums or they used tarot cards or a Ouija board and all this. And yes, I have seen posts from people. Michael said none of that. He does not participate in any of that. That's what he and the mediums were trying to explain, was that people that talk about when they're trying to reach somebody from beyond and they're using all that kind of stuff, it's spirits in the afterlife don't respond to that crap. Okay? It's crap, and they don't respond to it. And that was another thing that Michael wanted me to, bring out that I had forgotten about when I was talking about that medium video. He says that he's aware there have been some of these so-called fans that claimed that, that they had some kind of like psychic conversation with them, whatever, and they're talking about using all that, and he does not participate in anything like that. He reaches out to the people that he wants to speak to, that there's a reason for it, and that's it. And, there you go. And see, that's another thing. There's a reason why I'm bringing all this up. It's the fact that Lulu, in these very recent conversations between her and this so-called Seraphim account, she keeps bringing up that I stated that I'm the only one that has a connection to him and nobody else. And I never said any such a thing. And just in the recent videos, I brought it up, especially the one I made about, what the mediums told me. I brought up that, there are some people that have had some experiences with his spirit. He admitted to it. And, that's their business. The only thing I stated is that I am his twin flame. And there is no other twin flame, hence why I made the video about the other blogger that tried to claim that she was his twin flame years ago, and that turned out to be BS as well, as I found out, through Michael himself. Because when it comes to this theory about multiple twin flames, it's bullshit. People have got stuff mixed up, and, there's theory going on about that, and it's not true, because it kind of denotes the entire thing of what is a twin. It means two. But Lulu continues to, also make claims that I've stated that he doesn't talk to nobody but me, and I never said any such of a thing. And remember how I just brought it up in that update video? She made a post where she tried to claim that very recently. She literally made a claim in her post that Michael only converses with her and nobody else. And that was a first. That was like, because here lately, she was not really doing that. And now she's trying to do that. And of course, she deleted it, but, I archived it, thank goodness. But it's just, you see how, as usual, she can't keep up with her shit. She can't keep her story straight. And of course, that could be yet another attempt where she's doing that thing where she says one thing and then now she tries to turn it around, twist it around, and put it on me. And you see where I'm going? And it just, so. But there is some more stuff, but it's just that, it's just that, no, this Lulu supposedly, I didn't want to bring it up, but I am going to. That was something that was exposed, that she has done everything to try to conjure up his spirit. And of course, he's not going to let that happen. Like I said, spirits in heaven are protected from that kind of crap. But that's how obsessed this Lulu is. Another thing that he also exposed was the fact that she has been trying to dig up dirt on me. She apparently has been going to great lengths through any kind of social media, the internet. She is apparently doing a lot of stuff trying to dig dirt up on me. if you haven't noticed, some of this stuff, you know, when she makes these posts, because she's had a temper tantrum because I've yet exposed her, and then she starts making these posts trying to discredit me. That's something that goes along with this whole thing. It's like she always has an answer for everything. Anything and everything that I do is a lie. It's all bull. So apparently my relationship with well, yeah, it is. It's physical. It's a relationship. It is a relatedness. I'm a cousin to Elvis Presley. So apparently I'm making all that up. I am making up, you know, what happened to my dad and my grandfather back then. And you remember how she tried to steal from that? I'm just lying about anything and everything. And obviously, it should be of common sense now that anybody that's listening to this video, you know, that is what a crazy person does. Somebody that lies, and they've been caught in their lies. You know. But that is something that Michael, you know, did expose, was that she has been trying to dig up dirt, and she can't find any. That's what's funny about it. So that's what some of these posts are about. It's like she thinks that she's exposing me, but what she ends up doing is she inadvertently exposes herself and her lies even more. And then I get to go and expose it. And, you know, and again, I'm doing it for documentation technically at this point now. But you see where I'm getting at? That was something Michael exposed, that she has really been doing things to try to find out. She wants to know who I am. And again, this goes back to when I brought up about the whole thing about the face. She kept harping about that I didn't show my face, and so that must mean that I'm a bullshitter as well, and I'm doing it for protection. And you see where I'm getting at? It's like that. This goes into all of it. It just, some of this kind of, you know that saying when they say the jokes are telling themselves now? This is all just basically exposing itself now. It's like it's just telling on itself. You know? But yeah, that is something that Michael, that's why he has, it's like he knows that there, it's like he's not concerned, but then he kind of is. But he was letting me know about all this, that this person has been doing some really, great lengths to try to find out just who I am. And trying to find dirt. They think they're going to find some kind of dirt on me to try to expose me, because I'm just lying and bullshitting and making all this up. And again, it's like, what is this person's deal? And what it all goes down to is that this person did not think that they were going to be caught when I found out that they were stealing from my videos and then trying to pass off my account as their own. They didn't think they were going to get caught when I found out they went to that one blog and was trying to start mess on that blog, and that blogger exposed it. After I found out about it, that's what a lot of this is about. This person really thought they were being slick and that they thought they weren't going to get caught, and then they did, and then you see where I'm getting at? Everything got unraveled. But that is what's going on. That, you know, these are some things that I didn't really want to bring up, but no, I'm bringing it up. Michael, you know, this was some other stuff that he had talked about that, the mediums explained to me, was that she is involved in these practices where she has tried to conjure up a spirit, and that she is doing a lot of sleuthing, trying to figure out who am I. And that is somebody that really is crazy and dangerous. I mean, this is that dangerous stalker territory. Okay? There's some other things here. Some of the posts that this, Lulu was making, this conversation that they were having today with this so-called Seraphim. And you know how, I said that she brought up about how she claims she's talking to somebody named Linda and all this other stuff, and they've had conversations and everything, and that this Linda supposedly has had experiences with Michael, and just the whole thing, you could just tell that read the bullshit. some of it sounded like a copy attempt where she's trying to copy from those mediums I discussed. And I already brought that up, but there's something that I didn't bring up, and I am going to talk about this. Apparently, one of the mediums in the past, they did make some posts. They were going to try and talk about this online themselves, and they made some posts on their YouTube channel. Talking about what they had gone through, and they were giving out some of the info about, these readings or sessions, whatever. And this medium, and the reason why I keep going by and I just say this medium, I don't give any names. I already explained the first one, they want to be anonymous, but the other two, I'm doing it for a reason because I'm trying to protect them. They really don't want to be, exposed as well because they're trying to keep, because the second medium, they don't do this kind of stuff. They don't do readings, for people. There are people that have that ability and they don't go around doing that. They try to help spirits and spirits come to them and that's it. They're not in the business of this, And what it is that I am just merely trying to protect, because if I haven't stressed enough the weird, dangerous stuff that this Lulu, what they do, and this whole shenanigan, this whole personal vendetta that they have been doing and trying to discredit me and cause, crap, I'm just merely trying to protect them. And the reason why is because one of the mediums, they posted, they had the YouTube account, they started making some posts where they were trying to relay what Michael had told them. And this Lulu somehow found their account. The medium told me about this in one of the emails we had, and she took the post down because she was starting to get some bad vibes. She already had bad vibes about it because Michael had told her about, what this Lulu was about. That's how I found out all the stuff. But she took the post down. She just, because she got bad vibes as well. But the thing is that when she was making her post and she's just trying to kind of, talk about what, she had gone through with Michael's spirit. She said she had only posted maybe once or twice on a video about Michael at that point on YouTube, and that was it. And she didn't really know, because she didn't know if she was going to start a channel or what. She just started out with some posts. She says that Lulu found her account like right then and there and was trying to peddle her bullshit to her. And that's when, the medium let her know, I'm sorry, but he has a twin flame. And, and she knew, because like I said, the medium knew about the channel at this point and everything. Like I said, we'd already been conversing. And she was letting Lulu know that, I'm sorry, but Michael told me about you and he said he didn't know you. That kind of thing. And the thing is that, what creeped her out, this is what she told me in the emails, what creeped her out was that she had only posted once or twice, and this Lulu somehow found these posts, like the account, her comment basically, and then obviously checked her profile out and saw the community post, and there you go. And that kind of creeped her out, like, because she said these posts that she had made, or the comments she made, how about that? Because I might be using the wrong word. But when she had commented on a video, she only commented like maybe once or twice, and that was it. Very obscure. And somehow this Lulu somehow found her, her channel, even though there was not anything on there except for those, community posts. And then is trying to peddle, because obviously when she was making these posts, she's trying to talk about how Michael does have, twin flame, that he's got this connection, this person. She used, the name that I use on this channel, Nicole, because like I said, we'd already been conversing, at this point. She says this Lulu is trying to peddle her bullshit, trying to claim that I've got this connection to Michael and trying to claim all the stuff about the poems. And of course, like I said, once the medium let her know, let this Lulu know that, hey, I'm sorry, but, Michael, told me about you. I know what you're about. And she started making posts exposing Lulu herself, talking about how, of course, Lulu went and deleted all her comments, the comments she had made. That's what she does. And you see where I'm getting at. In other words, that is just how bad this Lulu, of how deranged that they are. And so one of these mediums, they've had their own dealings, is what I'm trying to say. Because they talked to me about it, through email, telling, and they deleted their community post, and that was it. They said they're keeping it because they saw for themselves how deranged this Lulu is. They were proving what Michael had told them in spirits, what I'm trying to say, basically. It was proven to them. They saw it for themselves. Okay, if that makes any sense. And the thing is that I'm just exposing it. Basically, I'm letting it be known, because, like I said, this Lulu, as usual. If you go back to how I brought up how Lulu continues to say that anybody that comments on a video that I make, or anybody that's ever responded, anybody that has anything to do with me, they're all bullshit. They're all fake accounts by me. It's all me. It's all bullshit. That's what she's trying to peddle. Well, she has, apparently, she obviously doesn't like that this one medium was exposing her. She has gone to the length of doing that same trick. She keeps trying to claim that these so-called mediums, that it's all bullshit, that it's me, that when the medium was over there talking about all the stuff, that it was me under a fake account and blah, 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 blah. And you see, it's the same shenanigans. It's like my husband said, she has an answer for everything. I'm just making everything up. Okay? So the thing is, I'm exposing it because, one of these mediums, they were trying to post about what they have exposed, what they have, been told, by Michael, and they were contacted by Lulu, and Lulu was trying to start mess with them, and you see where I'm getting at. And see, this pretty much exposes what I had been saying from the get-go. This person, whoever it is on this account, they know that they have been exposed. And basically, they have these hissy fits and temper tantrums, and then they start their little campaign again, and their little crusade, trying to discredit me and trying to make me out to be a liar, that everything on this channel is a bunch of bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, the post that they make, they end up exposing themselves for the lies that they've told. So, yeah. But yeah, there's also some other things too. Something else that she continues to do as well. And of course, this is probably the same thing, but I'm still bringing it up. But yeah, it's just, apparently, if anybody ever tries to converse with me, or anywhere, she automatically accuses them, either they're a buddy of mine or it's a fake account by me. And she keeps trying to insinuate that she's being harassed by a bunch of people, and she keeps trying to claim that it's me and that I've got a cohort of people that, we're all harassing her. And see, again, it's a bunch of bull, because I don't have nothing to do with her. I don't post or do anything. I don't want to have anything to do with her. And remember I told y'all in one of the past videos that knowing how there are others that claim that she was doing crap to them, she could be being harassed by people for all we know. And it's these others that she caused mess for them, so they got beef with her. I don't know, but my thing is leave me out of it because, and see, that's another reason why this whole thing, why I call it documentation, because this person continues to put this lie out there that I'm harassing her, and no, I'm not doing any such a thing. Another thing that she's done as of recent that This is an actual post that she made today. And this is when she's apparently trying to peddle her bullshit. And again, there was lies in it. I'm going to read it because, like I said, this is the kind of stuff what I was talking about. This is the comment. I had to do the Google Translate in order to be able to get it so I could read it in English because she posted in French. But it says here, hello, and thank you for your comment, because I think she's trying to respond to that Seraphim account, you know. But it goes, hello, and thank you for your comment. I've observed sometime for a long time, though I can't state it with 100% certainty, which is that I have a connection with Michael. That's something she refuses to understand. And of course, when she says she's talking about me. Well, see, that's a lie right there. This is another example where she can't keep her story straight. She says that she cannot state with 100% certainty that she has a connection with Michael. Every damn post that she has ever, thrown at me where she's definitely stating about her connection to Michael, she's 100%, she's for certain. She is 100% certain that she knows for a fact of her connection, and she's 100% certain that I'm a liar. And she had no problem letting me know it in I'd say hundreds of posts that she made. But yeah, she's trying to claim she doesn't know with 100% certainty if she's got a connection to Michael. And see, that again, that's just stupidity at this point. This is just like the whole thing of how she likes to do that thing where she tries to claim that she has the medium abilities. And so she converses with Michael like a psychic or medium would. And yet she can't tell with 100% certainty. And then on top of it, that's another one of the lies where she can't keep her story straight. She said she's basically a medium or psychic with her, but then she's also loved boasting about it and posts that she had to go to mediums herself in order to figure out her connection. See, that don't make no sense. If you're a medium, why are you going to a medium? If you can do this stuff yourself, then why are you trying to converse with another medium? So you see where I'm getting at? And see, this is why I'm doing this. I'm exposing, all the stuff. Because, but I'm going to continue reading, this particular post. Okay, it says here, we had a major falling out back then due to doubts regarding another person she had spoken to about her own connection with him. Okay, listen to that. Okay, we had a major falling out back then due to doubts regarding another person she had spoken to about her own connect. I have no clue what she's talking about. Who is, when she says we, she's talking about me and her, and we had a falling out. We didn't have a falling out. You harassed me from the get-go on posts I made on YouTube. And then she said I spoke to another person. I don't know what she's talking about. Who in the hell is she talking about? And again, I don't know if these are made up lies or what. I mean, to me, they're lies. Okay, so now then, she says here, this happened on Messenger in 2022 after I sent her a friend request. This happened on Messenger in 2022 after I sent her a friend request. I'm not on Messenger. Again, I don't know what she's talking about. Everything that she has done to me happened on YouTube. And she's spun this yarn before. She's brought up this Messenger thing before in, past times that she tried to post and tried to lie. She's brought up this Messenger shit trying to claim that we conversed on me. I have never conversed with this Lulu on Messenger. Everything that has happened has always been on YouTube and YouTube only, except for that blog that I brought up that she tried to start mess on that one person's blog. That's the other thing. But I mean, this Messenger, what the hell are you talking about? Friend request? Okay. Anyway, we discussed our respective experiences and things were going well until the day she blocked me. Again, didn't happen because I don't know what the hell she's talking about when it comes to Messenger. I mean, is this just one gigantic lie? And you see where I'm getting at? That happened because I had consulted a medium to communicate with Michael, an experience that was wonderful, where I was told I had known him in 2 past lives and that we had been a couple. See, here we go again. She's talking about how she had to go to a medium that told her all this shit. Again, she has stated in posts that she is a medium herself. So what you doing going to a medium if you can do all the stuff on your own? See, it doesn't make any sense. See, it doesn't add up. When I told her what had happened, she reacted badly, insisting there was no guarantee it was actually Michael. I was disappointed, even shocked. Later, quite unexpectedly, I came across a profile on a channel that channels Michael Hutchins. I suspect it was her, given that her experience mirrored the one I've described. She ended up deleting it. On other occasions, I found more messages from her and pressed her for an explanation, but she called me crazy. I won't go into every detail. See, this is shades of where she's now doing the thing of trying to twist and turn, because remember what I stated in the very beginning. When I started posting, back in 2021, and then it goes into 2022. Sometime in 2022, it was either spring or summer, I start getting posts from a Lulu, but they were going by the name of Lord's Gone Calves at the time. And they're acting all nice. And they're responding to my YouTube post. They're wanting to know about my connection. Remember I told you I found she was fishing for details and I didn't realize it? And this went on maybe about a month. And remember how I told you how I brought it up, how I started to realize I may be Michael's twin flame. I hadn't even been to the medium yet, the first one. And then she went completely crazy. And every post at that point, she starts calling me crazy, that I'm a liar, that I have nothing with Michael, and blah, blah, blah. And you can see where this is going. She's doing that thing where she's trying to twist now and turn it all around. What she did to me, she's trying to claim that I did to her. And she's even saying this. She says, then there was this person named N. She won't, she won't say the name, but we know what N refers to. That'd be the name I use on the channel, Nicole, whom I suspected was the same individual. So now then, so you see the crazy twist and turn that this whole thing is? I kept pressing the issue. Naturally, she denied that they shared identical experiences and matching dates, and she eventually accused me of harassment. Since then, she and her friends have constantly criticized me on her channel. I could say more, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what it looks like from this post, she's now trying to insinuate, and of course, given the history of what I've had to deal with, she is probably at this point, because a lot of it doesn't make any sense. But it does look, from the onslaught of it all from the very beginning, it's looking like she's trying to pin all this on this so-called Andrea character. Because that is something else that was brought up about this so-called Andrea character. When she first started to accuse me of being this Andrea person that's Brazilian, she was trying to claim that this Andrea was also going around trying to claim that she had this connection, to Michael and all this other stuff. And she tried to spin this yarn that this Andrea apparently had some of the same details that I was saying and all this other stuff. And then so that's why she started suspecting that I was this Andrea character and all this other crap. But she also, once I kept telling her I'm not, this is this very humorous that you think I'm this person, I'm not. And my videos prove it, because my accent, and I stated very clearly, I'm from the United States, born and raised. I ain't never even been to Brazil. Okay? Thing is that she seems to think that it's quite okay to harass people. See, she's giving herself away. Because she never ever offered any kind of apology like, I thought you were this Andrea person, I'm sorry. No. She continued with this story that I am this Andrea, that we are the one and the same. And then it just went from there. And she kept on with that for a while. But once I started having my channel going from the first time, and then, of course, the other times, that got upended because what I just say, my accent gives it away. All the details of what I have been able to give clearly show that I am not some Brazilian who lives in Brazil. And remember what I told you about the so-called Andrea character? This is somebody that I noticed that they like to post on, a certain channel, let's just say fan account of Michael. And I have caught them before where they have conversed with one another and they seem to be in cahoots. And this is where I started, kind of wondering about, is it that this Lulu person and this Andrea, are they in cahoots, or is this Lulu under another fake account? Either way, as I said, leave me out of it. So you see where I'm getting at? It's like she's trying to, from that post, it kind of looked like that she's trying to insinuate that I'm this Andrea person again. She's going with that whole thing. She's giving this weird account of how we met on, was a Messenger and all this, and none of this ever happened. And like I said, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit to begin with. I think, as usual, this is why I'm making this video. This is all yet another set of lies, and I'm exposing it. Because it all goes back to the fact that when she tried to accuse me of being the so-called Andrea, she never ever offered an apology. She acted like it pretty much, even when other people called her out, because there were other people that would come to my defense and they would say that, it's crazy, that my videos are proven. She never ever tried to give any kind of explanation as to why she really thought I was this Andrea person. And she never offered any kind of apology. Apparently, she acted like as if it was okay for her to continue harassing. Whether it is this Andrea that she thinks she's harassing, whether it's me, it was apparently okay. And she kept on doing it like she does to this day. It's demented. This is basically me just trying to expose how this is what this person thinks. That is how crazy they are in the head. Okay? At this point, this video is starting to get long. I think I've exposed yet enough. There's enough that's been brought up. Basically, to just kind of reiterate the whole thing, this person has some kind of weird obsession with Michael Hutchins, the spirit of him, that is. And they have got a serious problem with me talking about, my connection. The fact, she won't admit it, but, she keeps harping in these posts about how I'm his twin flame, and she laughs about, that's the very thing that I've used this term for. That's what gets her. It sticks her in her craw. That's a little Southern saying we have. That's what really is, because you gotta remember, that's what bothered her from the get-go in the very beginning of this, when she was being all nice, and it was basically one of those little smarmy tricks where she's fishing for info. And then once I used that term that I suspected at the time, because I wasn't, I didn't know for sure, that's when she did that complete 180 and just went it's like every post after that, she just started attacking me. You're crazy. You don't have nothing with Michael and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So that's what set her off, and that's what's been the very thing. This is the thing that she also tried to start, the blog that she tried to start the mess on. It was that very essence, the term twin flame. This person's over here, she's trying to claim that she's Michael Hutchins' twin flame, as well. What do you think of that? It was that kind of crap. Of course, that blogger, was like, I don't, who are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, like I said, she found out what was really going on. And like I said, she exposed it on her blog. She's got posts, detailing. Okay? It's just, that's the very essence. And what have I stressed from the get-go? And I stressed this in my past videos. Twin flames is something beyond that. I don't even look at this as a romantic connection. I can't, because I'm married in this lifetime. I love my husband very much. He's definitely a soulmate. I can definitely tell we were meant to be in this life. He is my end-all, be-all. Okay? Michael, I always like to view it, from what I can best describe it, like a brother, like a soul brother. There is nothing, romantic. And you would think that this idiot would be okay with that and would leave me alone. No, I told you from the beginning, whenever I start my channel back up, that's when she starts her mess back up. And we know that this is yet another trick or shenanigan where she's basically doing that thing where she thinks that she can continue to harp on and harp on and harp on, and she thinks I'm going to just get mad and delete my channel like I did back then. She thinks her little trick is going to work, and it's not. Okay? And that's what I suspect some of this is about as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what the problem is. This is a person that seriously believes that they are in a romantic relationship with a dead spirit that's waiting for them in heaven. And that's another thing that I'd like to expose too, about the conversation that happened today between her and this Sarah Film account. She's bringing up all this stuff. She's bringing up the poems and everything, like the fact that, I've mocked those poems because it's a bunch of bullshit. And she couldn't stand that. She was over there talking about how I've put down her poems and all that. And yeah, I did, because it's a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, what person do you think would be trying to contact, a sane person that would be trying to contact her and then trying to talk with her, and they're accepting, they're just accepting her view of things? Any sane person would see from the weird ramblings that she has made on her, her YouTube account, that there's something, I said before, I'll say again, the person is mentally ill. There's something, she's 3 fries short of a Happy Meal. Another saying could be, is there any film left in your camera? I can't stress this enough. And that kind of exposes that, because like I said, this Seraphim literally made their account today. It's documented. You can see it for yourself. And then they start posting on the Lulu account, and then you see where I'm getting at. And then they're trying to call out a viewer that I've conversed with that's commented on in my videos, and then is trying to accuse them of being me under a fake account. Try to lie better. That's what this all is. This is somebody that thought that they were trying to fix me or expose me, and as usual, they just ended up exposing themselves even more for the lies and bullshit that they like to create and tell. And another thing that I want to stress, that Michael, I know he wanted me to bring this up. This is something that I've been noticing. I've been having some strange dreams here lately, and some of it is pertaining to this. It's like I've been getting messages from some of these spirits. They've been coming through in dreams here, and I've been getting the message that you're doing good to basically keep standing up for yourself. Because something that I know that this Lulu liked to portray Michael as, this is another one of the lies or the bullshit portrayals of this person liked to, this portrayal of Michael in the spirit world that she liked to portray, and it really was, it's bullshit. Back in the first, because this stuff started back in 2022, and of course it continued. I do know the first 2 years, like 2022 and 2023, she loved portraying Michael to be basically not a nice spirit. When she would try to, do her vendetta of trying to call me out to be a liar and all this other stuff, she would literally try to insinuate, this is the kind of stuff that exposes her for the liar that she is and the bullshit she posts. She would try to claim that Michael told me this about you and he told me that about, basically bad mouthing. She would try to claim, Michael said that, you might as well put in the word bitch. He said you're a bitch and that you're this, that, basically name calling. Yeah, this person would do this crazy crap. if you have common sense, you are going to know that a spirit in heaven ain't going to operate like that. Okay, in any way, shape, or form. And, the people that have, at least from what I believe, especially your channelers or whatever, these mediums that claim that they channeled them, the few that I actually believe, Michael always comes off as very sweet and polite. Okay? Some of them do talk about how there's an air of mysteriousness or whatever. Some of them brought up the duality. And, and I have kind of, noticed that myself. But it's just, that is how crazy this person was. She would literally try to claim that when she's trying to push the bullshit that I'm the one that has the connection and you don't. Michael, said this about you, and he said that. That's basically what it amounted to. You it's a bunch of BS from somebody. This is what I meant when I said this person. It has to be somebody that's like in high school or they're in their 20s. They're not right in the head. Because remember how I said, if this is a grown woman, that is saying this crap, that's sad. Okay, it is sad. And that's the kind of thing. This is what I meant when I said that I finally wanted to expose all this, because Michael, he definitely didn't like that. There was this view of him that she portrays, and it's just a bunch of lies. And again, it's that kind of thing where it's like, and you sit there, this Lulu loves to claim that she loves him so much. Remember, they're in a relationship. That's her husband in the spirit world, apparently. Okay. And yet she claims she loves him, and yet she's going to sit there and say all the stuff. She makes him out to sound not a good spirit, basically. And you see where I'm getting at. And again, that anybody with common sense is going to know that this person is definitely making things up. They're not right in the head. But also, if there is a spirit that is coming around saying all these crazy things to her, it ain't Michael Hutchins. I'll tell you that right now. Remember how I told you how Michael did say that he's aware of what she has done, and she has tried to conjure. She thinks she's going to try to somehow conjure him up from beyond or whatever. And, we don't know. She's conjured up some type of negative demonic entity, and there you go. So, at this point, I think this, I've said, everything states. It's like that saying the jokes are telling themselves at this point. This person, I know that some of y'all are probably like, you need to quit talking about this crazy bitch or move on. And yeah, I do, but no. This stuff, I just felt it was too good to just not pass it up, because it needs to be exposed. Okay? It needs to be exposed. Like I said, I've got other videos that I'm planning to do, because, all the older, videos have been uploaded now, but, it's just, this person just will not they won't leave well enough alone. And like I said, they've got this beef with me, and that's really what the gist of it's about. They won't ever admit to the twin flame. They love to, they can't keep their story straight on that, because in one post they'll try to claim twin flames don't exist, and then others they talk about as if it does. What it all boils down to is that this person deep down, she believes that she's Michael's twin flame. That's all there is to it, even though she won't say it. And there you go. That's what it all boils down to. This is yet another person that obviously believes they're Michael's twin flame, whatever, divine counterpart. And then they can't stand the fact that there's others out there that are talking, about their connections. Like I said, she's very hypocritical, talking about how I tried to claim that I'm the only one that has the connection. Nobody, and I never said any such of a thing. It's her that's been going around that says, has been saying that, as recently. And, So, I mean, like I said, this whole thing, you know, this video, it's basically proof and documentation. I kind of have to do this because, like I said, this person has really gone to lengths to do all this stuff and won't leave things alone. So I have to document it, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be, you know, all I can say because, like I said, I think it pretty much, it speaks for itself. There's going to be more videos to come. Because there were some topics I hadn't gotten into yet that I wanted to do back then, and now I'm going to get to do it. So I'll get to that. But that will be all, you know, for this video. I will get back to y'all later. Bye for now.